Lucas, Mom's hospital appointment is over. Her vitals are stable at least.
Well, good job.
I'll be heading home and getting her bathed.
Mom's really become frail. She can't walk without a cane or support, and she's on a catheter too. She can't even bathe by herself anymore.
It's unavoidable. Don't speak ill of her. She's trying her best after all.
But don't you think it would be better if she moved into a care facility? She's not able to move around freely anyway.
Her mind is still sharp and she feels more comfortable at home. We're still within our capacity to provide home care, aren't we? Plus, it's me who's doing all the caregiving, right? You, Lucas, aren't helping at all.
I have work to do. I can't be spending time caregiving.
We're living in her house. She'd probably prefer having you, Lucas, doing things for her too. Why don't you try caregiving once in a while?
No way. Helping Mom with her personal care, bathing her, it's not something her son should do.
You're not too old to feel embarrassed. Besides, if I were to get sick, you, Lucas, would be the one who'd have to take care of me. You'd better get used to it in case of emergencies.
Then we can put Mom in a care facility.
What if she says she doesn't want to go?
Then she'd have to figure it out herself. I have work and can't take care of her.
How can you say something so cold, so casually, after all she's done for you? Oh, but there will be a day when you really have to do it, Lucas.
What? What do you mean?
My brother and his wife are coming back from abroad after a long time, so I'm planning to go see them and stay at our parents' house over the weekend next month.
You can't just spring that on me.
It's not sudden, is it? It's still about a month away.
Why do I have to spend my precious days off caregiving? I can't. I'll pass.
Even if you say pass, you know I've been caregiving every day, right? Once a year should be okay.
I don't care. You should hire a helper or something. Alright?
I've got permission to go from Mom, so I'll discuss it with her.
So you got Mom's permission before mine.
I just happened to talk about it when I was in contact with the family. I spent the most time with Mom after all. Lucas, you're hardly ever home, and all you do when you come back is eat and sleep. You never even listen to what I'm saying.
I'm tired from work. Who do you think is making it possible for us to eat?
I know. I really appreciate you working, but I'm also doing what I need to do at home. I don't want you to think that just because you work outside, you don't have to do anything at home.
What's a homemaker like you even talking about?
You don't have to say it like that.
I'm not coming home today.
What? Why?
Because I don't want to see your face. You're always whining, it's bothersome. Alright then.
Wait, Lucas. Where are you saying you're going to stay? Lucas, answer me. Lucas, you said you'd come home early today, right? You still haven't returned yet.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be late.
I told you I have a cold, didn't I? So I'd really like it if you could come home earlier. Could you buy a sports drink on your way home?
That's why I said I'll be late. Besides, you could order delivery at this time. Don't rely on me.
Alright, I'm sorry. I have a fever and I'm feeling a bit fuzzy. I couldn't think straight.
Acting sick, huh? Getting a cold is your own doing, isn't it?
What?
You skipped taking care of Mom and went back to your parents' house. That's why you caught a cold. If this spreads to my mom, it's on you. If my mom, who is weak, catches a cold and it worsens, she might even need to be hospitalized. You're not thinking about that at all, are you? And you're still managing to take care of her.
I'm sorry. But if you're worried about my mother-in-law, couldn't you come home a little earlier? I think it's difficult for her when she has to go to the toilet. She's saying she'll try to manage on her own, but...
It's your fault for catching a cold. Don't blame your mistake on me.
It might be my fault, but... Isn't it okay to cooperate a bit in times like this?
Take care of your own mess. Don't ask me for care.
When my mother-in-law needed care, Lucas, you said you would help, didn't you? Was that a lie?
At that time, Violet was also working part-time, right? Now you've quit, so don't complain.
I quit my part-time job because full-time care was needed. Originally, you were the one who asked me to take care of her. She's your mother, isn't she? I don't mind if you don't care about me, but please consider your mother.
Enough with the excuses. I don't want to catch a cold when I get home. Sort it out yourself. Violet, I hate to spring this on you, but could you leave soon?
Huh? What do you mean?
I've decided to divorce you. Actually, I have someone I love. I'm thinking of remarrying her.
Huh? What do you mean?
That's why I'm divorcing you, because I want to remarry.
Do you understand what you're saying? That means you've been having an affair, doesn't it?
I haven't had an affair. No misconduct. I plan to start dating her officially after we split up.
I don't understand.
You probably wouldn't. It's a thing called pure love between me and her.
Are you thinking you don't have to pay alimony because there's no misconduct?
I've looked into it and it seems it's difficult to claim alimony when there's no misconduct. But, well, that's the case. If having a meal together is considered an affair, it would be unbearable.
I wasn't expecting anything from Lucas anymore. I never thought you'd stoop this low.
Low? What are you talking about?
Doing such selfish things. Don't you think you're the lowest?
I've been feeding you for free just for taking care of Mom, you know. You're like a worn-out rag, becoming more and more of an old lady and losing your charm in the things you say. I'd appreciate if you could thank me for letting you live a comfortable life.
I'm done. I now understand that you really don't care about me. I have no regrets.
Oh, are you admitting it so easily?
At this point, yeah.
I thought you'd come crying because you're middle-aged and being divorced. Could it be? Do you think it's lucky to be freed from my mom's care?
Don't equate me with your thinking.
Well, if you agree to the divorce, that's fine. Anyway, get your stuff together. Make sure you can leave at any time. Violet, you haven't sorted out your stuff yet, have you? I'm moving in next week. What have you been doing all this time?
I've mostly packed up my stuff.
When I came home this morning, your stuff was still there.
Are you sure you didn't see it wrong?
No way. Even if you do this, you're still leaving. Because a new wife is coming, you should hurry up and leave.
Having me take care of your mother, having an affair during that time, and finally kicking me out. It's a terrible story.
You've had it easy while I've been caring for her, haven't you? I'm going to dump my mother into a facility, so thanks for all your hard work until now. Once you, who are so noisy, are gone, I can finally do as I please. Don't hold a grudge just because you've been dumped.
Huh? You're the one being dumped. I'll put your stuff together and put it outside. So hurry up and leave.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I said you're the one being kicked out.
Why am I being kicked out? This is my parents' house.
Technically, it's your mother's house, but the house has been transferred to my name. The paperwork just went through today, so you're the one leaving. Even if your new wife's stuff arrives, it can't be brought into the house.
What the hell? Huh? Why do you own my family home?
It was your mother's idea. When I told her about the divorce, she suggested ditching you. Your mother has been very cooperative too.
My mother's cooperation? Why is she on your side?
Don't you think it's obvious? You didn't care for her at all and were having an affair all along. And you know, your mother was the first one to notice your affair. She told me a few months ago. So I had a private detective look into it.
So you knew before I told you?
Yes. And you said there was no infidelity? But there was, wasn't there? I have evidence of that too. So I'll be getting alimony.
What the hell? If you knew, why didn't you say something right away?
I noticed that Lucas's affection for me was gone, but because of our past memories, I couldn't bring myself to divorce you even though you treated me terribly. There were many times I thought about it, and I was worried about what would happen to your mother after I left. But when I was told about the divorce, I felt liberated. Oh, I don't need this guy in my life.
Hold on a second. So you mean to say that my parents' house is now yours, and I'm going to have to pay alimony?
That's right. Of course, to your mistress too. I will be receiving it properly from both of you.
You contacted my mistress? If you haven't yet, please don't.
Sorry, but I've already sent the claim for alimony. Are you panicking because she was still living at home? But it's your fault for having an affair.
When did you send it?
What were you going to do when you found out? Trying to grab it from the post before their family finds out? But too bad. I just got a call from your mistress's parents. They apologized, and they said they won't let their daughter see you anymore.
Huh? Are you serious?
They didn't know you were married.
That's the worst.
Who's the worst? You lied about there being no infidelity, and even greeted her parents. The worst for both me and her parents is you guys.
Please, tell her parents that it was a lie. She's a sheltered, well-raised girl. They will never approve of a marriage born out of an affair.
A sheltered, well-raised girl wouldn't have an affair, right? Maybe you're being deceived.
Our love is pure.
Please don't say pure love when you're having an affair. It's too funny. If it was truly pure love, you'd do things in the right order.
Violet, I'm truly sorry. I really am sorry for leaving your mother's care with you. I'll properly apologize for everything up until now. So please correct the fact that we're having an affair. I'll pay whatever amount of money you want.
You already got the house and you'll get alimony from both of us. And you'll also get a share of the property. That's more than enough for me.
But you're a housewife. What are you going to do from now on? You can't live on just caring for your mother. You'll be better off with a lot of money, won't you?
Don't worry about that. I couldn't muster up the courage to get a divorce for a long time, but I've been making plans for the future with your mother.
What do you mean, plans for the future?
I've also got a caregiving qualification and I'm planning to gain practical experience through part-time work. We've decided to hire a helper on the days when I work part-time. And besides, you don't have much savings left, do you? I wouldn't expect something I can't get.
No, I still have my savings from when I was single.
I looked into it the other day, but you've been using a lot since you started dating your current girlfriend, haven't you? You should check your balance. It was less than $1 million.
What?
You didn't keep track of your own savings? You're an idiot.
Violet, please. I'm really sorry. So please forgive me.
After putting me through so much, you think you can end it with an apology now that you're cornered? You really are making a fool of me.
I'm not. I'm really sorry.
Do people who are truly sorry say they're sorry? I wouldn't be able to say anything if I were in your shoes.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
It doesn't matter how many times you apologize. We've already divorced, so you should start looking for a new place to live. You know you can't come into the house, right?
Violet, please help me. Please don't take away my happiness. Please forgive me.
What's the guy who tried to abandon me and my mother-in-law without considering us at all saying? You've pushed us away when we needed help and wanted to rely on you. Who was it that said you should take care of your own mess? After that, my husband repeatedly urged me to let him into the house after he came home, but I never unlocked the door. My husband didn't make a fuss because he was aware of the neighbor's gaze, but as he couldn't take all his belongings at once, they ended up being kept in storage for a while. I've also heard that his relationship with his girlfriend was vehemently opposed by her parents and ended. He wanted to get married regardless of the opposition and kept contacting her, but when he became penniless from the alimony and property distribution, and his parents found out about his affair, his lover's heart seemed to have completely broken. In the end, my husband ended up living in his company's dormitory, and I sent the remaining belongings there. After everything was over, my mother-in-law and I received messages of regret from my husband, but we ignored them and pretended not to see them, because there's no place for him to return to here anymore. Since then, my mother-in-law and I have been leading a fun life together. My mother-in-law was very happy that I was able to break free. And perhaps because I myself became more positive, the atmosphere in our home has become brighter than before. My mother-in-law needs care, but her mind and heart are actually still healthy. To spend as much time as possible with my kind mother-in-law, who has always supported me, I'll continue to support her and make many fun memories. Mom, please. I'm in a financial bind again this month. Can you help me out? Didn't we agree last month that I wouldn't lend you any more money? What on earth are you spending it on? On Alice's tuition and stuff. You know, women cost money, right? But Alice goes to a public school. That shouldn't be straining your budget, right? You have a part-time job, right? I understand that being a single mom is tough, but you're receiving child support, aren't you? If you're really struggling, why don't you move back home? No way! I don't want to move away from downtown. Well, you might not have a choice. I know, but I want to keep trying here for a bit longer. I might be able to become a full-time employee at my current part-time job. Even so. Hey, please. I promise this will be the last time I ask for your help. The truth is, I'm in debt. Debt? I keep getting calls to repay it, and if things keep going like this, I might get depressed. I won't be able to feed Alice enough. Wait a minute. What do you mean by debt? Why did this happen? Didn't your father's inheritance get passed on to you? Tell me what you're spending your money on. Breakdown? What's that? Dad's inheritance was spent a long time ago when I moved from home and on living expenses. A few $100,000 can disappear quickly. You said you would save it for Alice's future. All right, I'll come over and help you reevaluate your expenses. So, why did you need to get into debt? I've been sending you about $500 every month. It's not because you didn't have enough for living expenses, right? Well, Spit it out. Dates and stuff and gambling? Dates and gambling? You said you'd quit when Alice was born, didn't you? Since Alice was born, I've been winning more. So I thought I'd spoil Alice a bit. The money you're spending on gambling should obviously be spent on Alice instead. And what do you mean by dates? Do you have a new boyfriend? Well, is he a boyfriend? Why are you saying it like a question? We're not dating yet, but we plan to. He said if I can make him my top priority, he'll make me his girlfriend. He's a bartender, so it's not easy to date him. Aileen, you've really lost it. You're the one putting a strain on the household. If you're going to live like this, I'll take Alice. No way! He said he likes kids, and I want to introduce him to her. If he takes a liking to Alice, maybe we could start dating. What? What do you think Alice is? I've been putting up with your selfishness all along. When you said you were going to have Alice, even though you didn't know who the father was, I approved because you promised to raise her properly. You're always putting Alice second, chasing after men. How many times are you going to drag her through this? Can't help it. I'm falling in love.
There's no point in saying more, is there? I'm not helping you anymore. Just bring Alice to me. What? What's that? So you're saying you don't love your own daughter? It's come to this because your behavior is outrageous as a mother. I think we spoiled you too much. But let me tell you, I'm not going to clean up your mess now that you're an adult. You better pay back the debt yourself. Just bring Alice to me. If you won't help me, I'm not bringing her. What are you saying? If I give you money now, it'll just disappear into gambling and drinks for your boyfriend, right? You need to face up to what you've done. Shut up! You're always nagging. It's really annoying. Fine. Take it as me abandoning Alice. Wait, Aileen. Hold on. Grandma. Huh? Grandma. Alice? Could it have been you who called just now? Yeah. I was surprised because I didn't recognize the number. What's up? Did your mom buy you a smartphone? No, she let me use it. Grandma, can you talk now? I'm sorry, honey. I'm still at work. I see. What happened? Grandma, Mom has gone somewhere. She hasn't come home. Where are you now? I'm coming to pick you up. Tell me where you are. I'm at Uncle Mafia's house. Huh? Mafia? Sorry, Alice. Grandma doesn't understand. Mom disappeared and Uncle Mafia came. Then Uncle Mafia set place. He gave me food. Huh? Uncle Mafia wants to know where Mom went. Does Grandma know? I'm sorry, I don't know. Could you let the man who lent you the phone speak? Okay.
This is Brown. I run a loan company that lent money to your daughter.
I'm Addie, Eileen's mother.
I'm aware. Eileen had written you down as her emergency contact.
I see.
The thing about Eileen is, she's behind on her loan payments. I went over to her house because she wasn't answering her phone. Then I found Eileen's personal belongings were gone and only little Alice was in the house. Alice told me that yesterday. Eileen packed her things and left.
You're kidding. Are you saying she ran away and left Alice behind?
It seems that way. And about the payment, you're listed as a guarantor, so I need you to pay off Eileen's debt of $20,000.
Hold on a second. I don't remember agreeing to be a guarantor.
Regardless of your recollection, the paperwork indicates you as the guarantor. Your seal is on it.
That should be invalid. You're not a regular person, are you? And taking my granddaughter without permission. I'm calling the police.
That's harsh. I just took Alice in to protect her. You might think we're some sort of shady loan shark operation, but we make sure not to put ourselves in a position where getting sued would be a problem. Even if you took this to court, it's unclear whether the loan agreement would be invalidated.
Oh dear.
Well, it's true we want the loan repaid, but we're not expecting you to do it. It's just that this is our business too, so we want Eileen to pay. When you borrow money, you pay it. That's only fair.
Yes, I suppose.
So, we would like you to bring Eileen to us. We were thinking of helping her find work here to repay the loan. Get her to come in?
You want me to sell out my daughter for my granddaughter?
Do you still have feelings for Eileen, who left her daughter and fled?
What Eileen did to Alice is unforgivable, and I've been looking into taking her in myself, considering her recent circumstances. But rotten or not, she is still my daughter. I can imagine what would happen if I handed my daughter over to you. I understand that the one in the wrong is my daughter. But
it's not really my place to say, but Eileen didn't seem like she was taking care of Alice. When I went into the house earlier, it was a mess. She probably hadn't been doing housework for a long time. And yet, she borrows money for nightclubs and gambling, and in the end, she abandons her child and runs away. I have no sympathy for such a person.
I understand. I do understand. But I can't help but think that Eileen turned out this way because of my poor parenting.
Oh, Mother. There are people who say that no one is born a lowlife, but even if they're brought up the same way, a lowlife will grow up to be a lowlife. And only a lowlife can judge a lowlife. In my line of work, I've seen all sorts of families. Even families that seem normal to us, where they grew up with both parents, there were plenty of people who betrayed others.
I understand. I think you're right, Mr. Brown. I'll call my daughter. So please give Alice back to me.
Of course. Please let me know when you reach her. As for Alice, she's getting along well with our kids, so you can rest assured. We have no intention of doing anything to a child the same age as our own.
Thank you. And for taking care of my granddaughter.
It's nothing. I'm a parent after all, albeit a lousy one. I'll be waiting for good news then.
Aileen, I got a call from the debt collectors. They said you left to leave her with us. I would have come to pick her up if you had called. I guess I ended up reaching out to you, Mom. I'm sorry. I don't care about your apologies right now. We're talking about Alice here. Well, I couldn't repay the debt. Then they started talking about repossessing my stuff. I would obviously run in such a situation, right? I'm already doing my best. There's no way I could take Alice with me. Then why didn't you leave Alice with me? I'm telling you, I was desperate. Leaving Alice with you would have taken time. She's slow to get ready and I didn't have time to wait. I didn't want them taking my designer stuff. Packing is such a pain. And you said you wanted to live with Alice and I didn't want that to actually happen. What is that? Alice is just a kid. She can't live on her own, And you left her at home and if it wasn't for Mr. Brown finding her, the worst case scenario could have been a matter of life or death. I was planning to go back for her once things cooled down. You're making too much of this life or death thing. I see. I understand your way of thinking now. So, what are you going to do? The debt collector said your guarantor, Mom, should pay, right? Yes, that's right. That's why I'm going to pay your debt. Really? Thank you. So I can go home, right? Oh, thank goodness. But there's a condition. You have to come with me to repay the debt. What? Why? If you're going to repay it, just go by yourself. That guy is scary and I don't want to see him. You're not a child. You should see your mess through to the end. Otherwise, I won't pay. Then, you and I might be chased forever. But if we go to repay together, it ends there. Which will you choose? All right, I get it. Meet me at the station in front at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll go together from there. Yeah. I wonder if I can wake up. You better be there. What on earth? Why did you leave me and go back home? Did you deceive me? A mother selling out her daughter? That's unthinkable. You're the worst. Who's the worst? You, Mom. You didn't even bring the money to repay the debt, and you just left midway. It makes no sense. What do you think is going to happen to me now? Is this what a biological parent does? Have you no heart, no conscience? Aren't you talking about yourself? You never take care of Alice on a regular basis, always gallivanting. When you let me see her, you quickly dress her up in newly bought clothes, trying to look like you're actually parenting. Plus, I will never forgive you for leaving Alice and running away. Huh? A mother needs a break. Leaving Alice was an accident. What are you saying? This is all a result of your actions. It's your responsibility. I have a lot of things I want to do too, There are places I want to go where I can't take Alice. I want to have fun and I want to spend a lot of money. Is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. If you wanted to go out, you could have left Alice with me or something. And as for money, you should have fun without spending more than you earn. It's not for enjoying with borrowed money. Other people are still having fun. Why do I have to be the only one to hold back? This is all the path you choose. You decided to have Alice, and even though I was against it, I thought it was impressive. At first, you were really dedicated to raising her. But once you got a man, you left a child behind and started going out. And then you just left the family home and started saying you're going to raise her by yourself. When Dad died and left you some inheritance, you thought you could make it on your own, and you were always nagging me. Don't do this, don't do that, get a proper job. I wanted you to face up to the responsibility of properly raising a child. I can't keep taking care of you guys forever, But you ran away from me, and the only contact was when you needed money. I've done all I can for you. Since I heard about the debt, I've been taking steps to take custody of Alice. I've given up on you. Huh? Are you serious? You're not going to help me? Yeah. I'm really sorry. I promised to properly take care of Alice this time, so please help me. I wanted to save you before it got to this point, but it's too late now. Do you know where Alice is right now? Huh? Isn't she with you, Mom? No, she's not. You never worried about Alice until now, did you? If there had been any words of concern for Alice in our conversation yesterday, I might have been willing to prepare for the repayment. Some might call me soft, but you're always just thinking about yourself. You need to repay your debt on your own and reflect on your actions. No, I don't want to. Help me, Mom. Just as Eileen has no one else to rely on but you, Alice had no one but you. You think I'm going to help you, who can't even help your own child? Alice and I are different, aren't we? Alice can survive if she has food and a place to live, right? I'm mentally suffering. I might have to go through something terrible from now on. You know my current situation, don't you, Mom? I know, that's why. Alice must have been mentally suffering as well. You can survive if you have food and a place to live too. I can't survive. And he was saying he'd be my boyfriend soon. Happiness is just around the corner. Hey, I'm truly remorseful. I'll listen to you, Mom. I'll even go back home. What you need right now is someone else to straighten out your crook character, not me. Good for you, Mr. Brown is willing to help correct your twisted personality, Jer. No! I don't want to work for a person like him! If you're truly remorseful, pay off your debt and come back home. Remember how you felt when you gave birth to Alice, when you decided to have her. If you can't do that, I'll really cut ties with you. Alice was brought to my house by Mr. Brown. At first, she seemed scared of Mr. Brown, but she seemed to get along with Mr. Brown's daughter, who was the same age as Alice. It was like her first sleepover, and it seemed like she was having quite a good time. However, the shock of being left by her mother remained, and she seldom talked about Eileen. Eileen, meanwhile, is slowly repaying her debt while working at the job Mr. Brown helped her find. Eileen seemed to wish for a life as Alice, but there was no escaping, and Mr. Brown, who values children, never allowed it. Several months have passed since I can't forgive what Eileen did to Alice, but I still sometimes question whether what I did was right. No matter how terrible a person, Eileen is still my child, and I have seen the times when she cherished Alice, so I can't help but wish she would return to the Eileen of that time. If Eileen repays her debt and truly reflects on her action, I'm considering trying to live together again, taking into account Alice's opinion. But it's tough, I can't decide yet, and I can't forgive her. Above all, I want to respect Alice's opinion and create an environment where she won't be hurt again. If Eileen tries to forcefully take Alice, I will protect her no matter what. Now I want to devote the rest of my life to Alice's happiness. That's the way I can take responsibility right now.